All right, let's dive into some serious AI innovation today, shall we? Think Jason, that's what we're tackling.
Sounds exciting.
You know how LLMs, those large language models, are all the rage these days? Well, Think Jason is all about ensuring these AI powerhouses produce structured data reliably.
Ah, I see where this is going. Structured data, that's huge in fields like biomanufacturing, right?
Absolutely, especially where everything has to be perfectly formatted and auditable. Imagine an AI helping in a biomanufacturing lab.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
It's transcribing all those complex production records, but spitting out messy, unusable data.
Oh, yeah, that wouldn't be helpful at all. It's not enough for the AI to just understand the information, right?
Right. It needs to output that data in a way that both computer and humans can easily work with.
And that's where JSON comes in. It's like a super organized way to represent data, a blueprint, so to speak.
Okay, so JSON, got it. But getting LLMs to think inside the JSON, so to speak, hasn't been easy.
It hasn't.
I was digging through this paper, and it seems like traditional methods like writing super detailed prompts or training on tons of data can be really clunky and expensive.
Oh, they can be. And sometimes they're not even that reliable.
What's really innovative about ThinkJSON is that it teaches the LLM to reason about the relationship between the unstructured text it's given and the structured JSON schema it needs to output.
Yeah, instead of just blindly following instructions.
Like ThinkJSON is training the LLM to solve a puzzle, figuring out how to fit all the pieces of information into the right spots in the JSON file.
Exactly. And to make sure this reasoning is transparent, they're using something called chain of thought prompting.
Chain of thought prompting.
It's like asking the LLM to show its work, explaining step by step how it got to the final structured output. Super important for those audits in biomanufacturing.
Makes sense. If there's ever a question about the AI's output, you can literally trace its thought process. But hold on, this training gets even more interesting because they are using synthetic data, right?
Yeah, they are.
Wait, they're creating data from scratch.
Basically, yeah, like a custom training ground for PLLM, they're using other LLMs, specifically Qwen models, to generate realistic JSON schemas
Okay.
and messy text versions of the data contained in those schemas.
It's like giving the LLM a practice run where it has to take this messy text and transform it into perfectly structured JSON, learning as it goes.
Precisely.
That's wild. So they're using AI to train AI. It's like AI inception. And they're using some really clever techniques to guide this learning process too, right?
Yes, there's something called GRPO, Group Relative Policy Optimization.
Okay, I have to admit, GRPO sounds a bit intimidating. Can you break that down for us non-AI experts?
Sure, think of it like this. The LLM is trying to solve a puzzle, and GRPO is like giving it a reward every time it puts a piece in the right place.
Okay.
The more pieces it gets right, the higher the reward.
So it's like those games where you get points for completing a task correctly. The more points, the better you're doing.
Exactly. And they're not just rewarding the LLM for getting the basic structure right. They've also created custom rewards like giving bonus points for being concise and accurate.
So it's not enough to just get the information in the right place. It also has to be presented cleanly and efficiently. No extra fluff allowed.
Right. And after all this reinforcement learning, there's one final step, supervised fine-tuning.
So this is where they take the LLM, which has learned the basics, and polish its skills for real-world use, like taking a promising athlete and giving them specialized coaching.
Exactly. It's about taking that raw talent and honing it for peak performance.
Okay, so now we know how ThinkJSON works, but how well does it actually perform? Did they put it to the test?
Oh, they did. They compared ThinkJSON to other models, including some much larger, more complex models, and even ones specifically designed for structured output generation. And the results were impressive. ThinkJSON achieved higher accuracy and produced cleaner, more concise outputs than many of these other models.
So despite being relatively small and efficient, it's holding its own against some of the big players in the AI field.
It is.
That's impressive. What does that mean for the future of structured data generation?
I think it shows that sometimes clear design and focused training can be more effective than just throwing more data or computing power at a problem. ThinkJSON demonstrates that we can teach LLMs to reason about structured data in a really effective way.
And this has huge implications for fields like biomanufacturing, where accuracy and reliability are absolutely paramount.
Huge implications. Just imagine the possibilities. AI systems that can automatically generate perfect auditable records for every step of a complex manufacturing process. It could revolutionize how we collect and manage data in these critical industries.
That's a game changer. And it makes me wonder, could this type of reasoning training be used beyond JSON? Could it be applied to generating other types of structured output?
Welcome back to our deep dive into ThinkJSON. Last time we explored those innovative ways ThinkJSON trains LLMs to, think inside the JSON.
Yeah, and produce that structured data reliably. It's crucial for things like biomanufacturing with all those regulations and audits like we were talking about.
Exactly. And to make sure the AI isn't just blindly following instructions, ThinkJSON uses that clever chain of thought prompting technique,
Yeah, chain of thought prompting where the LLM has to explain its reasoning process.
step by step.
It's like showing you work, just like we learned back in school.
Right. Now, in this part, I'm excited to sort of delve into some of the potential applications of ThinkJSON beyond biomanufacturing.
Because this technology has implications far beyond just one industry, right?
Absolutely. Any field that relies on structured data could benefit from this ability to make LLMs generate accurate and reliable outputs.
So where should we start? What other industries could be impacted by ThinkJSON?
Well, let's take finance, for example. Imagine LLMs generating detailed financial reports, automatically populating spreadsheets with complex formulas, ensuring every number is perfectly aligned with those, stringent financial regulations.
It's like having an AI accountant that never makes a mistake and always meets those deadlines. That would be a dream for so many businesses.
It would, and it could free up human accountants to focus on more strategic tasks like, analyzing trends and making financial projections. I think Jason could revolutionize the entire accounting profession.
Okay, so finance is a clear winner. What other fields come to mind?
Healthcare is another prime example. Think about all those patient records, lab results, medication lists. Think Jason could enable LLMs to organize all that information into perfectly structured, easily searchable databases.
So instead of doctors having to sift through mountains of paperwork, they could have an AI assistant instantly pull up the specific information they need, saving time and potentially improving patient care.
Exactly. And this could also have huge implications for medical research. Imagine researchers having access to massive, perfectly structured data sets of patient information. It could accelerate the development of new treatments and cures.
It's like giving medical researchers a superpower. Suddenly, they can analyze vast amounts of data with incredible precision and speed, leading to breakthroughs that might have taken years or even decades before.
It's pretty incredible to think about. And let's not forget about the world of software development. Imagine LLMs generating not just chunks of code, but entire applications with every line of code perfectly structured and adhering to best practices.
That would be a game changer for the tech industry. It could significantly accelerate development cycles and free up human programmers to focus on the more creative and complex aspects of software design.
Exactly. Instead of spending hours debugging code, developers could be working on those innovative features that push the boundaries of what's possible with technology.
It's like having an AI pair programmer that not only writes clean, efficient code, but also understands the bigger picture of the project.
Right, and here's where it gets even more fascinating. The potential of ThinkJSON to unlock entirely new forms of creative expression. Imagine LLMs generating complex musical compositions with every note and chord perfectly structured according to the rules of harmony and counterpoint.
So instead of just writing melodies or basic chord progressions, these AI composers could create entire symphonies and sonatas that are both aesthetically pleasing and technically flawless.
It's a tantalizing possibility, isn't it? It challenges our notions of creativity and what it means to be a composer. It opens up a whole new world of artistic exploration where AI and human creativity can collaborate in unimaginable ways.
It's like having Bach or Beethoven reborn in the digital age, composing masterpieces with the help of AI. Who knows what incredible new musical genres and form could emerge from this fusion of human and artificial creativity.
It's an exciting prospect and one that I'm eager to witness. But beyond just the practical applications and creative possibilities, ThinkJSON also has profound implications for how we think about intelligence itself.
Okay, now we're getting philosophical, but I'm intrigued. How does ThinkJSON relate to our understanding of intelligence?
Well, traditionally, we've often associated intelligence with the ability to reason logically, to solve problems, and to generate creative outputs. But these abilities have often been seen as separate domains.
It's like those old sci-fi movies where the robots are great at calculations but can't understand human emotions or art, like they're missing that spark of creativity.
Right, but think Jason challenges that dichotomy. It shows that LLMs with the right training can excel in both domains. They can reason logically, understand and generate structured data, and even exhibit creative flair.
So it's like those sci-fi robots have evolved, learning to appreciate the beauty of a sonnet or the elegance of a mathematical equation.
Exactly, and that raises some fascinating questions about the nature of intelligence itself. If machines can perform tasks that were once considered uniquely human, what does that tell us about our own cognitive abilities?
Wow, now we're venturing into some deep philosophical waters, but it's an important question to ponder. As AI continues to evolve, it's not just about making machines smarter, it's about understanding what intelligence truly means and how we can best leverage these advancements to benefit humanity.
It's a journey of exploration and discovery, and ThinkJSON is a significant step along that path. By teaching LLMs to think inside the JSON, we're not just making them better at generating data. We're opening up a whole new world of possibilities and challenging our own preconceptions about the nature of intelligence itself.
It's like we're holding a mirror up to ourselves, using AI to reflect back on what it means to be human, to think, to create. That's pretty profound. But before we get too lost in these existential questions, I'm curious, what are some of the potential downsides or challenges of this approach? Is it all sunshine and rainbows, or are there some storm clouds on the horizon?
Well, like any cutting-edge technology, ThinkJSON isn't without its challenges. One potential hurdle is the computational cost associated with training these models. Reinforcement learning, especially with complex reward systems, can be quite demanding in terms of processing power and time.
So it's like building a rocket ship. It takes a lot of resources to get it off the ground, but once it's up there, it can take you to incredible places.
That's a good way to put it. And thankfully, the researchers behind ThinkJSON are actively exploring ways to make the training process more efficient. They're experimenting with smaller models and looking for ways to optimize the algorithms to reduce that computational overhead. Making this technology more accessible is crucial for wider adoption.
That makes sense because if ThinkJSON is going to revolutionize all these industries, it needs to be practical and affordable for a wide range of users.
Exactly, and that's why those efforts to improve efficiency are so crucial. But of course, computational cost isn't the only challenge. Think about all the potential applications we discussed: finance, healthcare, software development, even music composition. These are fields that deal with sensitive data and have huge ethical implications.
Right? We can't just unleash these powerful AI models into the world without carefully considering the consequences. What are some of the key ethical considerations that need to be addressed as ThinkJSON evolves?
Well, one crucial aspect is ensuring fairness and avoiding bias. The data used to train these models needs to be representative and unbiased. Otherwise, the AI could perpetuate existing societal biases or even create new ones.
It's like teaching a child with biased textbooks. They're going to learn a skewed version of reality. We need to make sure these AI models are learning from data that reflects the diversity and complexity of the real world.
Absolutely. And that means being incredibly careful about the data sets we use for training, constantly auditing them for potential biases, and developing techniques to mitigate those biases.
So it's not just about making these LLMs smart, it's about making them responsible. We have a responsibility to ensure that these powerful technologies are used for good and don't inadvertently cause harm.
Right, and that's an ongoing conversation that needs to involve not just AI experts, but also ethicists, policymakers, and the wider public. It's a collaborative effort to ensure that AI development aligns with our values and benefits society as a whole.
It's a reminder that even the most impressive technological advancements need to be grounded in a solid ethical framework. We can't just blindly embrace innovation without considering the potential consequences.
Exactly. And speaking of consequences, another important consideration is the impact of ThinkJSON on the workforce. As AI systems become more capable of performing tasks that were previously done by humans, there are legitimate concerns about job displacement and the need for workforce retraining.
That's a valid point. If AI can generate financial reports, write code, and even compose music, what happens to the accountants, programmers, and musicians?
Well, it's not necessarily a zero-sum game. AI can automate certain tasks, but it can also create new opportunities and augment human capabilities.
So instead of replacing humans entirely, AI could become a powerful tool that helps us work more efficiently and creatively. It's about finding the right balance between human and artificial intelligence, working together to achieve greater outcomes.
Exactly. And that brings us to another important aspect of ThinkJSON, its potential to enhance transparency and trust in AI-generated data. Remember those chain of thought prompts we talked about? They're not just a training tool, they're also a powerful way to understand how the LLM arrived at its conclusions.
Ah, yes. That ability to peek inside the LLM's thought process is like having a window into its decision making.
Exactly. And that transparency is essential for building trust, especially in fields like healthcare and finance, where the stakes are high and the consequences of errors can be significant.
It's like having a detailed audit trail for every piece of data generated by the LLM. That's a game changer in terms of accountability and trust.
Right. And this is why I think JSON has the potential to be truly transformative. It's not just about making LLMs more efficient or accurate, it's about making them more reliable, trustworthy, and ultimately more useful partners in our data driven endeavors.
Well said. All right, welcome back everyone for the final part of our ThinkJSON deep dive. We've gone through the technical how-tos, explored potential uses, and even touched upon some ethical considerations of this tech.
Quite the journey it's been.
From AI accountants to, well, robot composers, we've seen how ThinkJSON could really change things up in various industries, and even how we think about intelligence itself.
It is pretty mind-blowing.
But I know our listeners are eager to hear about some real-world examples. How's ThinkJSON being used out there in the wild today? Any specific case studies that showed the real impact of this technology?
Oh, there are. While ThinkJSON is still relatively new, it's making waves in various sectors. One cool example comes from the world of e-commerce.
E-commerce, okay.
Yeah, a major online retailer is using ThinkJSON to enhance their product catalog management system.
So how does that work? What's the connection between ThinkJSON and, selling products online?
Well, think about the massive amount of data involved in managing an online product catalog.
Oh, yeah.
You have product descriptions, images, specifications, pricing information, inventory levels, the whole nine yards.
Right. It's like the backbone of the whole e-commerce operation.
It is. And all of this data needs to be organized in a structured way so that the website can function smoothly, customers can easily find what they're looking for.
Makes sense. Without a well-structured product catalog, the website would be a mess. Shoppers would just be lost.
Exactly. And that's where ThinkJSON comes in. This retailer is using ThinkJSON to train an LLM to automatically generate structured product descriptions from, unstructured text data.
Okay, so let's say they have a new product, a fancy new coffee maker or something,
Yeah.
and they have a bunch of information about it scattered across different sources, marketing materials, manufacturer specs, even customer reviews.
Mhm.
ThinkJSON can take all that messy text and transform it into a perfect product description that just fits into their online catalog.
Precisely. And this not only saves a ton of time and effort for their product management team, but it also ensures consistency and accuracy across their entire product catalog. No more typos, inconsistencies, or missing information.
That's a huge win for both the retailer and the customers.
It is.
Shoppers can be confident they're getting accurate information about the products, and the retailer can streamline their operations.
Exactly. And here's another interesting example, this time from the healthcare sector.
Okay.
A research hospital is using ThinkJSON to analyze patient feedback and identify areas for improvement in their services.
Interesting. So how are they using AI to analyze patient feedback? Are they
Oh, hey, our listener wants to join in. What's up?
It seems that we already go through the paper. So can we wrap up the key finding and improvements for this paper?